They shot and killed Alex Pretti and Renee Good on camera in public in broad daylight. They were both 37 years old, and they were executed less than 3 weeks apart. Alex Pretti was an ICU nurse who initially started his professional life as a research scientist. He later became a nurse due to his desire to work more closely with people. Renee Good was a teacher who spent her academic career focused on the art of the written word. As an undergraduate, she was awarded the College Poetry Prize. She was a mother of 3 who spent the last years of her life living with her partner, Rebecca Good. These 2 murders were what ICE agents are comfortable doing on camera. If that's what they're willing to do while the whole world is watching, we should ask ourselves what they're willing to do when the cameras are off. What exactly do they do when no one's watching? Take Keith Porter Jr., for example. He was shot by an off-duty ICE officer, Brian Palacios, on New Year's Eve. He was 43. He had 2 daughters. He was murdered after firing off celebratory gunshots, something that is by no means uncommon on New Year's Eve. His family attests that Brian, the murderer, was the one escalating the situation. Brian, who is known to have a history of child abuse and flagrant use of racial and homophobic slurs, is the kind of man that ICE hires to kidnap people. Keith, on the other hand, has no accounts of child abuse. In fact, those who knew him describe him as a loving girl dad. He's not known for using bigoted slurs. In fact, he's known to have a joyful personality and a big heart. His very own daughter reminds us that, quote, "It was unjust, and I've seen things I don't like. And I want to remind people that this is real life. This is my life. This isn't news. This isn't an article I can swipe away from. My dad is dead. Please respect him, say his name, Buck Ice, and Black Lives Matter. Justice for Keith Porter Jr."
We're here to recognize Alex's leadership as a member of the American Federation of Governmental Employees, his lifelong service to the union, to the VA, to service members and their families. He was a man of conscience. He believed that you stand up for everyone, and he was out there in the streets for veterans, for immigrants, for our country, for our Constitution. We need to remember the kind of sacrifice and determination that Alex showed every day, not just at the workplace, but in his life. He made a difference.
Gabriel Garcia Aviles, father, grandfather, brother, and friend to many, was only 56 years old when he was abducted by ICE. Gabriel was a fan of many music genres and loved to spend time with his grandkids. Just 1 week after being transferred to the Adelanto ICE Processing Center, a facility long criticized for poor medical care and unsafe conditions, Gabriel died in custody, with circumstances around his death pointing to malpractice and possibly murder. His family is still demanding an autopsy report. Justice for Gabriel Garcia Aviles. Keith Porter Jr., a 43-year-old loving father of 2, was celebrating the new year outside his apartment when he was fatally shot by an off-duty ICE criminal. Keith's community held a candlelight vigil in his honor where one of his loved ones, Fata, said, "This was my brother. He was my life. He was my kid's life. He was the life of our family. He brought life to wherever he was. He was love." Keith's family is still demanding the arrest of his murderer. Justice for Keith Porter Jr. Yeah. Renee Good was a loving mother of 3 who could be found writing poetry, singing, and nurturing her community. Renee had just dropped off her 6-year-old son at school when ICE shot into her vehicle and murdered her. She was only 37 years old. Her community has rallied together in her honor to demand that ICE leave their city. Justice for Renee Good. Yeah. Alex Pretti was an ICU nurse who cared deeply for his patients. At just 37 years old, Alex had resolved to care for and defend the health of his community. When he saw a woman being shoved and beaten by ICE early in the morning, Alex instinctively tried to de-escalate the situation. For this, Alex was beaten, pepper sprayed, and executed by ICE. His community, shaken by his death and by the occupation of their neighborhoods, has come together to demand that ICE is held responsible for his murder. Justice for Alex Pretti. We will remember, because their deaths are not only felt by their families, workplaces, neighborhoods, and communities, but also by people across the country. The people see this violence and terror the state thrusts upon us, and we feel it. The fear, the anger, the heartache. But we must also see the resilience of the masses and feel that too. Community in our neighborhoods, solidarity in our workplaces, safety for our friends and family. That's what the people can build when we rally together. Thank you for being here in solidarity to honor the victims of ICE terror. Every spark, every act of resistance, every confrontation is one more reminder that the people are the masters of our own fate and that we are not alone. With every act of solidarity with our neighbors, we remind ourselves that our power is in our numbers and our organization. With every act of defiance against this decaying system, we expose the real character of the rotten government which presides over us without our consent. We reveal that the landlords, the police, the insurance companies, ICE, and the state apparatus are all one, and they are against us. These armed and armored ICE criminals are one of the newest, yet at the same time one of the oldest tools for terror the ruling class has unleashed against the oppressed. ICE ensures that billions of dollars are funneled into the pockets of business owners supplying their operations in their detention centers. ICE, CBP, and the rest of the government's armed forces are all united to serve a common purpose: to maintain the domination of the ruling class, of the billionaires and colonizers over us, the working and oppressed people. We cannot beg the state for reforms. The very same state unleashing this wave of terror against working class neighborhoods across the country, we must rely on our own strength to protect our neighborhoods. We gather in solidarity with those who have been victimized, brutalized, and murdered by ICE at the direction of the federal government. Let us memorialize the resolve and the bravery they displayed as we carry the struggle forward in their honor.
I'd like to say thank you to all of the VA employees, particularly the medical center, the VA clinic, the VA hospitals, who work double shifts, who were working crazy hours before the pandemic to make us one of the best healthcare systems in the world. Thank you to all VA employees. You're making a difference.
The working class has organized waves of protests, rapid response teams, and mass mobilizations culminating on January 23rd, 2026, when tens, possibly hundreds of thousands participated in walkouts, stopping work and closing businesses in protest. These struggles grow from the anger and the heartbreak of oppressed working people facing the violence of imperialism. But wherever people face oppression, they will fight back.